Capitol police officer who pleaded guilty to a federal civil rights charge will be sentenced later this month. U.S. District Judge Henry Wingate rescheduled sentencing for Jeffrey Walker for August 31st. The sentencing will be at 1:30 at the U.S. District Courthouse here in downtown Jackson. Walker pleaded guilty to one count of deprivation of rights under color of law back in December. He was slated to be sentenced August 10th, but that sentencing was rescheduled, and a status conference in that case was set for that date instead.